What was the rationing like?
That was a joke.
You know.
3 gallons of gas a week.
Why
Everybody
did you say it
had,
was
everybody
Sugar
had
was
their-
rationed, meat was rationed.
meat was rationed, sugar,
No rubber?
butter, coffee.
No rubber,
Yeah.
Lucky Strike
Gasoline.
oil went to war, no silver foil.
Why do you call it a joke?
Shoes.
Yeah.
Well, that, being
Like
in
syrup.
the meat business, we had to collect stamps for people that when they bought their meat. And you had little tiny coupons. Well, most
Like
of
destination.
Just move up like a few
Most-
inches and that'll be more than enough.
most of our clientele were Italian or Irish. And they used limited amounts of meat, I guess you could say. So Pop used to say, well, look, every month a certain number of stamps would expire. If you didn't use them up, they were lost. You had to throw them away. So Pop would say, let me have your stamps that are expiring. If you ever need meat, come in and you won't have to worry about your stamps. So we always had plenty of stamps.
They always have plenty of meat.
The other stupid thing about it was that Pop had to collect them and count them and turn them into the bank. They used to have to account for so many stamps. And I can't believe that the banks ever counted those things, because that was stupid.
Tiny little thing.
It was
There
absolutely
were so many on a
stupid.
page.
Well,
So
do
we
you
never had a
remember
problem.
that Dad running out of meat on a Saturday
Well,
morning?
that was early on in the war. When
This was when it was rationed.
Yes, it was rationed, but early on in the war, there was a shortage of meat, and that was before the black market came in,
Yeah.
okay? Once the black market got in, there was plenty of meat.
What do you mean by black market? You mafia
It
or?
wasn't,
No,
no.
just people, opportunists.
It was, there were
You could say
slaughterhouses
that.
that bought their meat
Same idea.
from local farmers and what have you, okay?
It didn't go through
It
government.
didn't go through the usual
procedures.
government
Inspection.
procedure.
That's
Was
right.
it inspected?
But it was choice AA meat, or whatever you want to call it. It was never a question of quality.
Well, Dad did all right during the
Dad
war,
did-
but then so did everybody else.
Well, that's what happened, you see.
Yeah.
Once you see that one guy jumps on board and you see he's making money, you say to yourself, either I have to do that too, or I'm going out of business. So you became
Just go down
part
to
of the
the-
system.
You just go down to the meat market, and there were 7 of us, and I used to ask for a pound of meat. I said, could you cut it thin? It's the only way you all got a little bit of meat.
Go farther.
Yeah.
Well, back to people not using all the stamps.
Yeah.
And Grandpa took the stamps that they
The
didn't
ones that were
want.
going to expire.
And then what did he do with the stamps? Then
He
he,
deposited them in the bank,
but why?
because that
What
was the
did he
law.
get for it?
Just
Well, the
fact that-
government, he was only allowed a certain quantity.
I don't know how that,
And they were
law was,
supposed to
but-
be looking
Yeah.
into that, the government.
That did
Hey,
not,
Pat?
Yeah.
that did not entitle
Pat?
him to any more meat
Pat,
to
can you
sell.
bring the
to
camera?
sell.
No, they just had to
Maybe
make.
it'll take
Oh, yeah.
when he's through there.
I don't know, I
maybe
can't
take
explain
a picture
why that
of
was the
you
case,
with
but I
Brad.
Didn't
remember.
Dad buy
Well, I'll
stamps
take
too?
one later.
What did
Fine.
he want with the stamps, I wonder?
Yeah, I think he
We had to turn it
I think he
back.
bought stamps.
You probably got your replenishment
I
of
think
meat
so.
with the number of stamps you turned in.
And didn't he get roughed up by the feds?
Just right over. I don't know.
No,
Whoops.
that was.
Not by the feds, he got, but the feds got after him from, was supposedly selling wine, which he did not
That
sell.
was back in the 30s.
I remember that,
We had 250 gallons still downstairs.
No, I wonder what he wanted to do
Oh
with
my
the extra
God.
stamps. Did he
I
then
married
get
into the
more meat
mafia.
to buy,
He
to
couldn't
sell?
count for the meat
Mothers
that
and
he
fathers of every
sold,
And he sold.
correlated with the stamps in some way.
some way.
That's right. And I don't know how he did it. There's a little sleight of hand going on there.
Right, that's what I'm
It was a
trying to
cash
say.
business, no, not cash.
I don't know that when he deposited those ration stamps into the bank, whether he said there's 10,000 stamps in there and there was only 900 or something like that, you know, who knows? I can't believe that anybody in the bank was sitting there counting all these little.
But I'm
They're
just
little
trying
tiny
to
ones.
understand what,
Oh, like there
how he
was-
was taking advantage of the opportunity. What was
They
he?
didn't count 10,000 stamps, and they've only been 900.
I think Dad had
That's
a
what
little
he said.
set of books in his mind, besides what he had to report.
Two
And
sets of books.
that's how he was able to build a kitchen that is now part of that house. That was done during the war,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Where was the kitchen?
Uncle
The
Ralph
dining room was right inside the door.
Uncle Ralph and Uncle Joe.
Right
Uncle
beside
Ralph
the
was in the
cellar
construction business and Uncle Joe helped him. and I think they had another helper.
Oh, they had a couple guys.
And they built that kitchen. And that's how Dad could afford it, with the money,
Oh,
the extra money he accumulated
Yeah.
during the war. But then some people bought houses.
Do you understand?
You know, there was black market and there was real black market. You know, this was Penny Annie stuff.
Right.
But
So that house in Wildwood
Oh,
was
the
bought
government
with
was rationing.
funny money?
Probably.
no, that came a little later.
Extra profit.
If we
Yeah.
had,
Exactly
if we
was
ran
the
out because
premise of
they
the
were
stamp.
rationing,
The
they couldn't
government
get stuff off the black market.
Gave you so many
He was
stamps
making
money.
per week or per month,
Right.
Gave each
So
house.
so that you
stamps
could
that
only
black
buy
market
so
would be
much
extra
meat,
stamps.
because so
Right.
much of the meat was going over to the boys. That's why they wanted us
I
to
think
cut
what he was
down,
trying
right?
to do
Had
with
the
the stamps
rationing.
was,
So if you wanted
stamps
more
because the
meat,
people
or
that
if
were
you
using it
didn't use
expired.
your meat
and if they
stamps,
needed
they were
meat,
left over,
and he was getting the
right?
money
Yes.
for the
They
meat,
expired.
even if they didn't buy it.
So
But if
your
they did,
father could get
Right.
those. He would tell you bring in the ones that were expired
Yeah.
and keep them, and so he could sell extra
What are you
meat
implying?
for them. And when he turned in to the government, he was making more money because ordinarily those stamps weren't any good, but he had already sold meat for those expired stamps.
Yeah.
So he could make a little extra. Boy, that's hardly worth it, is it?
Who are you, Barbara Walters or what?
Well, there was a lot of that in different commodities.
Sure.
All the grocers with the sugar business, and I forget what else, was flour ration?
Butter was rationed.
Butter was, sugar was,
Sugar was
coffee.
rationed.
Cigarettes.
Oh yeah,
Rubber
coffee.
heels on
Gasoline.
shoes you couldn't
Nylon
get.
stockings.
Yes,
Yeah.
you couldn't
Yeah.
get.
Tires you
What was the
couldn't get.
nylon
We used to
piece
use leg makeup,
What did you use the
remember?
nylon stockings
Uniforms
for?
and
What were the stockings used for?
They used
Parachutes.
parachutes.
Okay, go tell Patrick his 5-minute warning is over and it's your turn.
Actually, was it nylon or silk?
Silk probably.
Silk stockings?
Because
Yeah,
parachutes
nylon.
are
Well,
made
they
of
used
silk.
the silk for that.
Nylon came later.
that
came
came
after.
they used.
Came later in the war, but at first it was silk, because we did have silk parachute.
Yeah,
at
that's
home.
true.
Yeah.
Then they drink.
Because nylon was a fairly new
Fred
commodity
sent
at that time.
a blue silk parachute home,
Did he?
yeah, and I forget what we used it for.
curtains.
I think we made something out of that silk, but I don't recall what it was.
I hope it was a nightgown or something.
And he also,
You can see through.
he brought home silk kimonos.
Yes, you did.
I gave mine to Helen.
Why did
I
you
wish
do
I
that?
had not.
You're so
Well,
generous.
I did, it was white, I remember
Maybe she
that.
still has it, ask her.
Don't you care?
I bet you she doesn't, because Helen's not too sentimental and doesn't keep too many things. I
Uh-huh.
think she doesn't anyway. Because I know that song, those songs that he put on the internet, when she gave, she said, I told Fred he was silly the day he recorded this, you know.
She was always so sensible.
But,
Karen.
I don't know.
No. Helen or Carrie?
for?
Helen.
Helen.
Helen carried over.
So Vincent was the only one that really saw any action in the war.
Well, I know, I wouldn't say
John
that. I
did.
think John saw some
Yes,
action.
he
I
did.
acted in the Navy.
What the hell? Anybody that ever goes in is in jeopardy one way or the other.
John
Jimmy had to
caught
fly in an airplane.
Yeah,
and they had
It was on a ship
propellers.
that went
B-29.
across the Atlantic.
Remember?
John caught pneumonia when he was out.
For some reason, that was
He
action.
was very sick. And Fred, I don't know what he saw. I know he got sick, malaria. And
Yeah, right.
My brother Sonny
He was
was
there
in
at the end-
13
the end
invasions
of the
in the
war.
South Pacific.
Oh, God.
Philippines,
He
late
really
team,
saw action.
Mindanao, Charles.
Yeah.
I remember when they used to have war
And then they got
bombs.
dengue fever
Lucille
and
Ball
malaria
came
and
to the
all those
Singapore one
horrible
time
things, funguses,
with her
remember?
vibrant red
From
hair.
My
when-
father died when I
And
was
her
15,
gorgeous
there's no
legs
money
and
coming
pasted
in.
nylon
Sonny went to
stuff.
CCC, Dick
And
went
then
in,
we
was a
were
merchant marine.
dying rayon
And
and
he saved
tea.
the house.
Yeah.
Because he got money.
Yeah, the merchant
were
marines
so
paid better,
beautiful.
yeah.
all the men looked so good,
Backpacks.
those
Yeah.
uniforms.
Oh, they look lovely.
Oh,
They
just
still
terrible.
do. Don't you watch Jag?
It's
Nothing
rough.
like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Men
like-
look
She
great
doesn't
in
like
uniform.
that, but I like it.
I like it all right. I get tired of that same lady with that horrible hairdo all the time.
She's got a thing for Jag.
If she would only go to the hairdresser, do something,
She
get an
ju-
uplift,
she
you know, they
changed
could
it
do a lot
last
with
week.
her.
She changed it last week.
She changed how?
I don't.
To hairstyle.
Oh,
Do
she
you know
did?
about Vincent Carey's wedding?
No.
Oh my
I-
God.
Are you sure you don't? I can't believe that.
Well, even if he doesn't, I don't.
I don't.
Well,
Did you choose
Vincent was
Shoot.
in the service, and by this time, it was pretty well known that he and Carrie were an item. And
But they didn't sleep together.
oh no,
Dad lived
He didn't
here,
do that in those
and Carrie
days.
lived down
Never.
the end of the street
No,
with
they-
her
I,
8
I
sisters.
doubt it. Knowing Carrie, I don't know about Vincent, but I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Where the heck would they have gone?
Nowhere.
You know,
Did they have an old
double
Datsun
seater.
around or anything?
No.
The Subaru.
The home, the home.
Or fridge.
I sure know it wasn't 14.
You can lock the
Oh,
freezer
right,
door.
no place to hide, huh?
But anyway, Vincent knew he was going to go overseas, and he wanted to get married. And he wrote home, and he said, "We're going to get married." Well, at that point, Dad wasn't happy with the fact that Vincent had chosen Carrie, but he knew his son was going to go overseas, and God knew what was going to happen. So they had kind of a meeting of the minds, and Vincent came home, and arrangements were made, and Carrie had one of her sister's wedding gowns. I think she wore.
Yes, she did.
And Mamie wore a gown, and she was the maid of honor. And John got home on leave, and he was the best
He's the
man.
best man.
And we had a gathering in our house after the church ceremony, and they had a little gathering up at their house, which was the other end of the block. And it was kind of like back and forth. Quite a wedding. The whole
You mean
street
this was the
a
the
block
reception was?
it was house.
Uh-huh.
And, the whole street was
Jackson
kind of
style.
happy because here's this wedding took place, and they knew Vince was going overseas, and Dad finally got Faust Peretta, Carrie's father, came down to our house. I remember him
Dad
sitting.
did not like him.
Well,
I think
Dad
that-
they
didn't like
they
him.
made up that.
that was part
They-
of the reason why he didn't like
Yeah.
Carrie, I don't think, because of
He didn't
Mr.
like her
Peretta.
father.
Well-
Oh, it's a wonder any of you
Wasn't
ever
there a
got out.
Filipino in the family?
But it was,
Yeah,
it
one
was
of his
kind of like
sisters married
a
Filipino.
happening in the street. And it was nothing formal or planned, but they did get married.
And her
I
wedding
think they went to
pictures.
Atlantic City
Do you remember
for
her wedding pictures?
like a weekend or something.
Carrie's.
Couple
Oh,
two
yeah.
nights.
They were absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
That was
remember?
their honeymoon. And then Carrie went back to live at the other end of the street.
But then she came to our house and lived there. for a
Well,
while,
when
too.
Vincent got out of the service,
Floor.
then
When he went to
they
college.
took over the bedroom
On the
where
second floor.
second floor front, and that was their room. Carrie lived with us, and
Then where did Grandmom and Grandpa sleep if they slept?
they slept on the third floor
Oh, the
front.
front. Okay.
And then,
That-
well,
that
Vincent
house
went
has
to
been a lot
Drexel
of
on the
Man.
GI.
Moving
If
around.
those walls could talk
Oh,
of all
I'll
the
bet.
people that have lived in.
Vincent
Well,
went to
Dolores and I
Drexel on the
slept up there
GI
for
Bill,
a
They
year.
always
and Carrie
had-
worked
Third
for
floor.
They always had
Whitman's,
an emigre in the house.
Whitman's Candy
Somebody
Company.
coming from Italy.
And Carrie used to bring home these odd lot
Candies.
boxes of 5 pounds of candy.
That didn't
For grapes.
pass inspection. That didn't pass inspection.
How did Carrie work?
But Vincent took very good care of Carrie, and if we had a steak dinner, Carrie always got the tenderloin. That she was the first one. You remember that? Yeah. Well, I do. She was the first one served. God bless her. And Vincent made sure that she got a very good piece of meat. So, you know, we just waited it out till we got our piece.
Ah, ain't love grand.
yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
War stories.
Quite a time down there. We always had guests. They'd come in to buy meat in the store and end up in the kitchen for coffee.
Go through the
Oh,
doors.
See, on a
really?
Saturday morning, it was a steady stream of aunts and
Nicolene.
cousins and
Used to come.
Well, the first
Sigmund
one
Jet
that
used to
broke
come.
Dad's wagon every Saturday morning was Sigelmama.
Sigma.
That was his aunt. Very old Italian lady, and she had to have meat cut just so, because if she didn't, her husband, who was another tyrant,
Sissy Dreep.
would raise the roof, and he would complain about my father's meat. But she came every Saturday morning, and she wanted choice cuts, lamb chops, veal cutlet, all the good stuff. And Dad, in those days, you had to buy the whole animal,
Yeah.
or half an animal. So if you gave the choice cuts away, you were stuck with some of the not so choice cuts. And it just broke his wagon every Saturday
Aw.
morning. And then when she left, his sisters would come. He had 2 sisters. And there was, well, Micheline wasn't too bad.
I don't think so.
But Suganjet was another one.
Yeah.
Everything had to be just so. My
your
brother
husband
John, when
making
he
it?
took over, not took over, when he came back from the service and worked in the store with Dad, it used to break his wagon every Saturday. He'd come in,
Elder can never eat lunch meats, hot dogs. Dad
We
went
were not
store.
allowed.
Yeah,
We would go steal it.
yes.
We'd go steal a hot dog.
He sold hot
And-
dogs and he
and-
sold
And they
if
would
we
have
sliced the slice
steak
of bologna.
bologna.
He knew it.
Steak sandwiches at lunchtime on Italian bread.
hot peppers, hot peppers. Had to have hot
We used to
peppers.
say, if you knew what was put in those things, you would never eat them.
A hot dog.
And it's not even fit for a dog.
Sweep up the floor.
But he sold them.
Yes, he did.
People wanted them.
And we went in and stole them,
We stole them and ate them raw.
raw.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Hot,
Hey, that
hot
was
dogs
great.
are cooked anyway. But if we sliced off a slice of bologna, he knew that somebody was tampering. He knew it.
No, he could slice a bologna with a butcher knife.
Yeah,
Pretty damn thin.
yeah.
It was quite an art. And to watch him split a calf in half or a lamb with a cleaver,
Yeah.
not with a saw, with a cleaver.
Yeah.
He'd have hooks hanging
Right
off the
down
walls.
Art.
The
Sounds
spine.
like Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, but we
I'll tell
would
you.
go to visit Grandma. We would all go into the fridge to see what was hanging.
Yeah.
And there would inevitably be a lamb's head
Uh-huh.
or a calf's head. It would be
Oh, at
great.
Easter time.
At least,
At Easter
Yeah.
time.
That was probably when she went, you know, she'd be there. for
Or we'd go and we'd
all
steal
holidays.
bottles of Coca-Cola from the store, the green bottles. Remember how
It was
Grandma
always
used
so good.
Yeah,
Coca-Cola.
And that was something else.
in the green bottle.
When we were growing up, we didn't have a refrigerator in the kitchen. Well, very few people had refrigerators.
We had an
Most
ice
people
box.
had ice boxes.
Yeah.
We didn't have that.
And the ice
We
would
used
melt.
to keep whatever cold things we had in a little refrigerated section of the big,
big box.
ice box. It was in the front side of the store. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's about this high. It was only about that deep.
Did
but
it
we-
drip water downstairs in the basement?
yeah,
You have
all
water?
of those boxes
all
drip
the
water
ice
downstairs.
boxes dripped
drip
water
No, we
through
didn't have an ice
a
box.
pipe. And
Yeah, they
you
did.
had to get it. If it
Empty
was
the
in the
pan.
kitchen, you had to
We
get it.
did have an
Otherwise,
ice
it'd
box.
be all over the
This was
floor.
the
Because I
refrigerator.
remember the dripping pan overflowing and water being all over the floor
Yeah.
In the old kitchen?
in the old kitchen.
Everybody had that.
We used to get the ice from the guy out there who came down the street.
Was that before Dad had the big walk-in box, or?
We
I
had a
think
big
so,
walk-in
yeah.
box
Years
before.
ago, we had an ice
Always
box.
had a walk-in box.
I remember we had the window box. Do you
We
remember
had
this
a window
steel
box.
box that used to sit outside the window in the
In the
wintertime?
wintertime.
Would be
kept
open on the
your-
window side and sealed so that the squirrels couldn't get in it from the outside, and anything couldn't get in from the outside.
But if you remember when we, in the earlier days, the walk-in box opening was on the Carlisle Street side,
Yes, it was.
okay? And then when he redid
That's where
the
the phone
store,
was,
right,
right in between the
exactly.
stairway
And then, of course,
and the shop.
when he redid the kitchen and all that, he redid the store, and then they moved the box over to the other side,
Right.
and the opening was on the
On the,
wall side, the
right.
party wall side. It's a big difference. And I remember they used to have to climb up, when the old box, they used to have to climb up and clear the ice out of there because it didn't self-defrost like the new one. So they used to have to get up there periodically and chop the ice off and
Yes,
clear it out.
have something?
Otherwise it wouldn't keep cold.
But it was electric.
Yeah, it was like,
Remember all the orders you used to deliver with your bicycle and hope to get a 10-cent tip?
I did very well. I can't
I'll
complain.
come in,
In those
I'll
days,
come watch you,
10
and I'll
cents
come
was
in
a
and
lot of
save
money.
you if you need help.
But during the war years, I made out pretty damn good with
during the war,
tips.
like, people had money. Before then,
We aren't gonna stay
nobody
much
had
longer.
money.
Right.
So you didn't always get a tip.
During the war, his cousin Vincent was at the wedding funeral today. He and I delivered all the orders.
I know.
And the boys rode the bike, the girls couldn't get on it. She couldn't skate or anything, no roller skates or nothing.
How about when the bike was stolen?
You did learn how to ride a bike.
You have to
Oh,
stop.
yeah, I learned how to ride Agnes Marie's bike.
Not me,
Go
I could
across
do
the street.
it. Not allowed,
Would you-
not ladylike.
We used to rent the bikes up from Jack's too. Don't you remember Jack's?
Oh, yes.
What was that, quarter, 25 cents an hour?
Yeah, so much an hour. This old guy up at the, Rosewood Street and Snyder.
You get enough information.
Yes, thank you
He used
very
to rent
much.
bicycles and repair
I'm very
bicycles.
happy.
Well, Eddie, I went back to the store, and I don't know if you remember,
You
but
could
remember
do
we would
a
sit
film on that.
on the white tile,
Mhm.
and we would watch Uncle Johnny and just hang out. Well, when I went in, I guess it was the end of last year. They still have the windows, but the tile, remember how it used to slope all the way back and you'd fall? They straightened it. So the sill, instead of being this deep where we would lay all the way back, it's just this big. And I went in and I said, you changed the windows. And they're like, who's this blithering idiot who's crying in our pizza shop?
By the way, Eleanor was asking earlier about some of the things that I might have from 1429, and you know, one of the things that I do have somewhere is also some of the hooks that were in
In the store?
the store,
Really?
and also the stools.
Oh, I have 2 stools.
Yeah, toilet stools too.
Uh-huh.
Nice, I got-
My daddy refinished them, and I've got one in the
Yeah, there's
family
one-
room.
Well, wait a minute, which stools do you have? Because they were the leather-covered ones?
Or the
Wood.
wire wrap one.
These are the ones that had the they were the stand up high stools.
They have a back to them.
I think 1 or 2 of them I have.
Oh, so you got the newer one.
They're the later ones.
Yeah.
You have the original.
Oh.
So I had
They bought
tried
iron.
it, it was unusable, so
Hey,
I
where's the
tried
one you
out
have?
the
Right
old
here
Right there.
in the family room.
The-
The other one's downstairs as a table.
deprecated wood that was rotten and split and all that. And I got some nice thick plywood and I cut it out and I sanded
sit in my
all the
seat.
2 of the chairs down, you know, the steel. And then I painted them black and that piece of plywood, I varnished it and varnished it and varnished it, and Patty has them in her house. Oh, we are in Patty's house.
Yeah, those are the old ones.
Yeah.
How
That's
about
not-
that?
Is that what you
That
have?
was from
No.
the store.
Butcher shop.
And daddy refinished it. He made a new seat.
How old would you say it is?
25.
That,
Back in the 30s at least.
Yeah, 25.
You never
maybe
know.
even back to the late 20s,
You never
Yeah,
know.
probably.
when he moved into that place.
What? When did they move into that house? What year was that?
They tell me I was a baby. So I was born in 1927.
I was born there in 30, so.
You were born in 1429.
And they had lived on
You were born in
20th Street.
1930. Okay. So it had to be between 27 and 30.
One of those things interest you?
It must have been around 1928, I would say.
So, how old is that house actually?
Much of a good
When was
Oh,
that?
God.
They go back to
Over
1900,
100 years old.
1895.
Well over.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's not possible.
Wow.
That would be.
So that was no one born in the house then. You weren't born in the
I
house.
was the only one born in the house.
We were all born at home.
Yeah.
I was born at 21st Street, I think. He was born in 1420.
Where was the home on 21st? 21st and what?
On the corner.
Lambert's, no.
First they lived on Lambert Street,
Yeah,
and then
right.
they lived on 21st.
21st Street.
Did they
In the middle
have,
of the block.
did they have a store in both of those?
No.
No,
They
In the
had
middle
the
of the
shop.
block on the one.
he worked for his uncle.
Dad came to work for a butcher on Jackson Street, if I remember the story correctly. And then that house went up for sale, 1429, and he wanted to have his family where he had his business, so they moved to that horrible house.
And since Broad Street
I mean,
was
I was lucky
14.
to have a home and a roof over my head and food in my stomach, but I never liked the house. It was a lot of work and anxiety and.
You were glad to get out.
And
Why
they'd
did the
spend all
house-
morning cleaning the kitchen, the tile and all that after it was all done and all. And then they would come in and fry steak and there would the splatter all
We had no
over.
privacy, none whatsoever, because our kitchen was right there by next to the store, and people could walk in, and they did all the time. And when I say people, I don't mean strangers, but I
No.
mean some of the neighbors and the relatives.
No ice
And
box.
they felt obliged to do it. If they came to buy meat, they felt they had to come in and socialize too. And, which was okay to a point, but when every Saturday you had the same stream
Should
of
have put
people.
in a sign up, no visit.
Close to
You didn't do
family.
that. You didn't do that. It was family.
The supermarkets were coming in at that time.
Sisters.
Have a good trip.
Remember when
So
you
they had a
guys
nice
were
day.
charmed
I'll
by
send you a
them?
copy.
I was very lucky.
You were damn lucky
Because why?
because when you were
I
a
was
little
the-
baby, you
I
were
was
so
sick.
sick. You had fluorescein, everybody was standing outside and looking your window.
Spoiling him.
The poor baby.
The poor.
Never
Ed-
let it,
Ed didn't learn
never
that.
laid a hand on him.
He didn't learn to speak until he was a little bit older.
Oh, no. Like,
I told you one time he laid his hand on me because I threw my shoe through the window. Then he really gave it to me, and I deserved it.
well, for years, we couldn't touch you.
Okay,
There was
love.
no way we could touch him.
Love you
I
very
couldn't
much.
work up a sweat, Mom would go nuts.
Could you?
Well, everybody,
Right,
sure
must
you
be
write
yours.
the
Could you file a
book.
document just so I can get a
Looks like
picture?
we're going home.
I think maybe we should
You
be
look
thinking about
beautiful.
departing too.
I don't have a movie camera, I got 2 shots left, so, okay.
Yes,
Goodbye.
time.
Gotta go. All right, I just have 1 minute outside. Just one, I promise I'll be quick.
Ed, could you
Eleanor?
get
Edward?
Patty's picture
I don't even
before,
know
hold
how to
it,
make
while
up.
everybody's here. Get here, because you got pictures of everybody.
My hair's
Oh,
a
I know, I'm
mess.
not
You probably
very
have to
picture.
unlock
Well, that's
it.
what I'm
But I
saying.
don't have a lot of film.
I have her.
He's
He
not
has a-
digitized. He'll send me a picture, I know what you're saying, Dad.
Bye,
Jane.
Goodbye, sweetheart.
See you soon.
Whenever I see people on the boardwalk taking pictures, I wish someone can take your picture.
Oh, go get your pictures taken.
Where are your boys?
Yeah, one's in the basement, one's in the kitchen. Come on out for a minute.
Gonna break the camera.
I'm not gonna break the camera. You wanna do a step or you wanna just go here?
Those pictures.
Yes! No, well, when he goofs off, that's where he's gonna go. I'm gonna give him the bed.
Your husband?
Oh, the pool's almost done.
So what's almost done?
Is that
The
I
neighbor's
don't know,
pool.
but that poor guy, I feel badly for him.
what happened?
His house will never get done.
Get everybody over
Where's Paul?
Please.
Paul's upstairs.
Yes, just stand right here. The 3 of you right there. I'm not doing a foot shot. Stand. Just back for 1 minute. I just want to get the threesome for a minute.
No, just the three of
Just the 3, and then we'll get.
you. Three of the dogs.
Oh no, we don't want Molly.
Molly, come here, Molly. Come here. Sing it.
Here we go, guys.
Company.
There we go. Okay, spouses.
Okay,
Spousals. Go. Come on, Daddy, get in. Papa's on. Papa. Daddy. On the arm.
We 3, 5, we're not a crowd.
Everybody's talking in this picture.
Everyone's like this.
Oh.
Was that a video camera?
My shadow and
Molto bene.
You gotta go, guys.
Now you're not allowed to go. You have to
my
sing.
shadow.
Every Saturday at the big trouble, Vincent wired electronic, he wired the whole house. One thing and everybody sang.
We 3, 4,
We're gonna be more.
Bye, Jane.
living in a memory.
We are back now.
My echo, my shadow,
Can we go to Utica?
and
Where we are. Just call me ahead of time.
we'll
and
be
get
there
All right,
waiting.
okay.
My echo, my shadow,
Has that shack fallen into the lake yet?
and me.
Has your shack fallen into the lake yet?
Frank would do us
Not yet.
a fine crowd.
They just fixed the bathroom up. It's holding.
All
Okay,
right.
guys.
All righty.
It's over.
Take care. Safe journey home.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
The dog. Lay down. Well, you know what they
What do you
sell?
put a window there for?
You know what they sell? Pet food screens. That's good to go buy.
Is it made? What is it made from? Kevlar or something?
Actually, I think it has a little Kevlar in it.
Could you get a garden, metal garden fence?
Can't fit in your car.
All together?
Lay dog.
No.
Tight were you in the back?
We're 3 in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great if we could do that.
I think you get one in the front.
How many cars do they have here? 2?
Is there a console in the front?
No.
Well, Patty will take it. She'll have to. That's it.
It would really be very uncomfortable.
You can sell all that.
Oh, you didn't know how to play it. Oh. Who can teach you how to play? Hey, Patrick? Kyle. Oh, look, Kyle's out.
Sean, do you know you have a cousin that's just about your age? He's going to be 5 in September. You're 5 now, right? His name is Luca.
Our kids don't trip burgers, so giving us good choice.
Hang in there, bud. It's not so bad. Thanks to you. Kids will like this.
This is Mary Beth. She'll be